Hello everyone, Catweazle here. Welcome to the channel and welcome back to our playthrough of Xayah, Legends of a Drift System with the Embers of a Forsaken Star and Missions and Powers expansions, where we're just about to start episode 6. Before we do, just a couple of things. Nothing major from last turn. I think everything went fine, caught everything. Just a few things that have elicited some small changes. You'll notice that the kiln card is actually over here. Let's see the beautiful board. I'll just put that in the middle of the board when somebody actually lands at the kiln. If there's nobody at the kiln, we'll just keep it off to one side so we can see the board. The other thing is I've got the remaining sector tiles out, and I've also separated out Loath because I think we could do with getting the outlaw out. It's a bit of a doddle at the moment for Johnny Neptune. he's just going round and he's making tons of money and tons of fame points. And the whole idea is we should have an outlaw out there. I think what I'll do in future, I won't do it for this playthrough, but in future, I think apart from Smuggler's Den, which is obviously when that comes out, the sellsword comes out. I think apart from Smuggler's Den, any other outlaw planet that comes out, like Kai, for example, that came out down here, can't quite see, it's just down there, that very small planet that came out with the chasm. I think then we'll get the scoundrel coming out. But as it is, let's stick with what it says in the rules and Loath. So I've got Loath out here, and I'm also going to take two others. We'll take that one and this one. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to shuffle these in. Instead of a 3-card shuffle, we're having a 3-sector shuffle. You know my thoughts on 3-card shuffling, but needs must. So there we go. So Loath will be, it's in the next 3 sectors that's going to come out, and I think that will help spice things up a bit for Johnny Neptune, who's getting a bit of an easy ride of it. So we'll pop those over there. Okay, so I think that's it. What we'll do is we'll crack on with the rest of the episode, and that means the action phase and Johnny Neptune. And here we are at the action phase with Johnny Neptune. So he's got 4 of these plasma cubes. We're going to have to sell those, and we are on our way to Lunari to do that. What else? We've got to remember our inertia harness. I think we'll use that because we're going to buy Cyber and try and go to Doravin V. So I've got to remember to use that. That'll give us 3 extra movement. We'll need those. So I'll take those. And yes, that's the plan. Got to remember, though, the shuttle. We have some disgruntled passengers that are wondering when they're going to get to Outpost 338. So we'll sell the plasma. We'll pick up some Cyber. Try and sell that. And then we will have to drop these guys off. You know, they've been very patient. So I think after our Doravin V run, we will head to Outpost 338 and drop them off. And also, you know, he's been doing a lot of trading. Let's mix it up a little bit for him. He'll go across to Outpost 338 after he's done this bit of trading. Okay, let's get over to the board and see how he gets on. And here we are at the board. And here is the Lone Drifter and Johnny Neptune. So it's going to head here towards Lunari, and we want to hit this sell spot. I've brought the inertia harness card just to remind me, otherwise I'll forget. We'll use his first arm token. We'll put it on an engine, and we need a good roll here. The higher the better to get into Lunari and get this plasma sold. So it's a D6. He does have a GTS. He rolls a 5, So that is 6 with his GTS edition. So 1, 2, 3 to the entrance, 4, 5, 6. Excellent. We've got straight onto the sell spot. That is fantastic. So we're going to sell 4 plasma cubes. Here we are. And we're going to get 4,000 for that. These go on the economy board as cyber. But there's already 4 cyber on the board, so only 2 cyber are going to be generated. He still gets his 4,000 though. Doesn't matter if you fill up the economy board for a particular product, you still get the full amount. So that 4,000, 1, 2, 3, 4, put that onto his tray, and he's now got 8,000, which is enough for a ship. But I don't want to spend all of my money on a new ship. We did that with Vesfergo and then she got damage. So what we'll do, I think, is we'll try and get over here to the buy spot, buy some cyber, then try and get to Doravin V. When we sell the cyber, we should have, what, about 10,000, I think. We'll have 10,000, and that's enough to actually buy a ship and a bit extra. So that's what we'll try and do. We'll get as close to Doravin V as we can, I think. But before we do that, we've actually got to buy the cyber, haven't we? So we're going to use our impulse. The impulse of the Lone Drifter is a lowly 2, but that's all we need because we're only 2 spaces away. So 1, 2, go to the buy spot. We're going to spend 2,000 credits and take 4 cyber off the economy board. So there's the 2,000 credits, there's his 4 cyber. We'll put those onto his ship in his cargo pod, and well, we'll fill up his cargo pod, and the cyber left over will just go in a normal cargo hold space on his ship. Great, so he's filled up. What we've got to remember is he did sell 4 cubes of plasma there, so that is a fame point. So he's got yet another fame point. Having done that, the inertia harness. We did the buy action, we can move up to 3 spaces, and that's what we're going to do now. So 1, 2, 3. So he's on his way to Doravin V. And let's roll for another engine. Oh, he's on fire. He's Johnny, he's on fire. And he rolls another 5, which is 6 with his GTS. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That gets him right to the entrance. What he's going to do, just before he goes in the entrance, he is on this edge here. There is a little Y symbol, so we're gonna search in here. He doesn't know that Loath might come out, so he's gonna search in there. That's gonna cost him an energy, and he's just gonna fire up the long range scanners. So here we are. Is it Loath? It's one of the top 3. Ooh, it's Tafjur, a dead world. So we'll sort that out. Let's just have a quick look at it though before I place it. So it does have some ice asteroids. It has an exploration token, a mission point, and yes, it is full of lovely artifacts to be looked at and mined and sifted or whatever it is. So that is Tafjur, and where's the Y? That's the Y, so it's going to go in upside down. Let's move that out of the way. So that pops in there. Excellent. Let us roll for... Whoop, put that there. We'll roll for the exploration token, so that's a D8 and a D6. And that's column 2 and the 3rd one down, which has already gone. So we'll roll again. And that is 7 and 3, which is already gone as well. I can see I'm going to have to think up a better method. And we've got 5 and 3 this time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that one is on here. So we'll pop that up there. And we also get 3 of the artifact tokens. So I've just cut these. Try not to have them. So it's just, yeah, there's 3. Try not to drop them. So there we are, those have gone on there. Cool. So I think that is everything. Yes, we've popped everything on there. And Tafjur is now on the board. Awesome. It's just really unfortunate that Kiln has got mob rule. So that's kiboshing it up for our archaeologist. Because every time she goes to the kiln, she'll have to pay 1,000 credits. But you know what? We might just do that anyway. It's just an import tax. We'll just have to deal with it. Okay, so we've sorted that tile out. Tafjur is on the board. So one of the remaining next two tiles will be Loath. So that's something to look forward to. Okay, right. Oh yes, we'll use our last engine and see if we can't get to this cell space. In fact, we can. We will get to it. Guaranteed. The reason is we've got GTS. So even if we roll a 1 now, we rolled a 6, so it doesn't matter. But yeah, even if we'd rolled a 1, we could move 3. 1, 2, 3. We're going to stop there. We're going to sell that cyber. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 cyber will give us 4,000 credits. What a turn this is. 4,000 credits for 4 cyber. The cyber goes into the supply and generates 4 terror. And he's got 10,000 credits that you can spend on a new ship. And I've got my eye on a new ship. I'll just put the 4 terror onto the economy board. There's now 5 terror on the economy board. Great little idea, the economy board. Fantastic. Love it. Okay, they're on there now. And that's another fame point as well. He sold over 2 cubes of the same product, which was cyber in this case. So he's got 2 fame points. Yeah, we used inertia harness, and we're not going to use the final arm token because that is going to be the end of his action phase. He's on a planet, so let's get back to his player card and do the business phase. And here we are at the business phase. So he's got his arm token that he didn't use. He's got that back. There's the 5 terror that he's generated. We used the inertia harness, so we've tapped that. Okay, right. We get all our energy back. So that energy he used for his long range scan he gets back. And these go onto his disarmed spots. Pop those on there. Now, what we're going to do now is he's going to buy a new ship. He's going to buy a new ship, and I think he's also going to buy a new engine. So I'm going to be back in a moment and we'll go through the new ship. Okie-ko, see you in a minute. And by the magic of editing, I am back. Okay, this is his new ship, the Manchester. Had to pick the Manchester, didn't I? So there's the new Mini. So pretty funky, eh? And I've put the blue collar on it. We'll move it over to the sell spot on Doravin V. And that is his new ship. Ooh, awesome. Let's go through it. So what we've got is it costs 8,000. So that's going to leave us with 2,000. All the rest can go back into the bank. And yes, it's got an energy of 14, so that's massive. It's also got a hold of 16, so this will be great for hauling cargo. He's put his cargo pod on, he's got his GTS there, and he's got his Targe shield, and he's going to spend an extra 1,000, and he's also going to cash in his M22 engine for 1,000, and that means he can buy a Halon engine. We'll get a better engine than this as well. You can get a D12 engine, but we want to keep some of that money, and the rate he's going, he'll soon be as rich as Croesus anyway. So for the time being, we'll just buy this Halon engine, which will pop in there. So the GTS is orthogonal to it, so it will work. And there we are. So what's he got there? He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. He's got 10 cargo spots that he can use for hauling, so that's excellent. And he's still got 1,000 credits, just emergency money, just in case something goes wrong. And I think that is it. Oh, and he will get an extra fame point, so that's 3 fame points he's got this turn. 3. He's just running away with it. But we'll do that when we actually get to the status phase. Just before we get to the status phase, we've got to pick another of our abilities. Remember, he keeps the abilities from previous ships. So inertial harness and Batea grid he keeps. And the one he's picked for the Manchester is hard bargaining. Drive up the price of your cargo. As an action, spend 3 energy and roll a d20. 1 to 3, nothing happens. You fail to haggle. 4 to 9, you receive 1,000 credits per 2 cubes you sell. Excellent. 10 to 19, you receive plus 1,000 per cube you sell. And 20, you receive plus 3,000 per cube you sell. The increased price lasts for the duration of this turn. So this, for the turn we've just been on, we sold 8 cubes, remember. So if we had those 8 cubes, if we'd rolled a 20, like, God, what would that have been? We'd have got the 8,000 for the cubes that we sold, plus an extra 8 times 3, which is what, 24? So we'd have ended up with 32,000 credits. This guy, he's well going to be in the scoundrel's crosshairs if he pulled that off. So that is hard bargaining. We'll put that over here. And yes, Johnny Neptune, he's turning into a bit of a trading baron, isn't he? He's a bit of a star. Okay, so that is it for the business phase. Let's move on to the status phase. And here we are at the status phase. So he's going to get all of his armed markers back, which is great. He's going to get his impulse back. And though that costs 3 energy, 1, 2, 3, he is plugged into the mains at Doravin 5, so he gets his energy back. And that's fabulous. He also gets the inertia harness back. And yeah, he's doing a grand job. He's doing a grand job. Fame points. So yes, he gets a fame point for selling that plasma. That takes him to junk pilot, which will generate a title card. So we'll do a cut like we normally do. And what is our title? Ooh, benefactor. Let's see if it's, yeah. A helping hand for 2 fame points. To claim this title, be the first player to, after completing a lawful mission, give the entire reward, credits and fame points to a player with less fame points than you. Well, he can afford to do this, can't he now? Once claimed this title, The next time that player rolls a natural 20, you also gain 1 fame point once per game. Cool. So this is a title he could definitely get. So excellent. We'll pop that over there. And we'll pop the titles back in there. Good, good. Gets another fame point for selling his cyber. That makes him a captain adept, and that is yet another event card. So let's see what event card we get. Currently got 2, Wormholes and Mob Rule. This is Economic Crash. Oh no, we were so confident. While this card is in play, all cubes on the economy board are removed and placed into supply. Be sure to place 1,000 credits on any space on the economy board that isn't already in demand. This card leaves play when after removing all cubes from the economy board. Okay, so it's immediately discarded. So we'll put it back there. But all of these cubes come off. So everything is now in demand. And that means, I think, I'll check on this, but I think that what that's going to mean is, let's put these on. I think that that is going to mean that we can't buy anything from a planet. We're going to have to like mine things, you know, to get the economy going again. So if you go to an asteroid and mine some spice, for example, and then sell it, that will generate plasma. Yeah, and then the economy board starts up again. And then we could buy some plasma, which would, in turn, once we sold it, generate some cyber and so on. So we're going to have to restart the economy board. And the only way I think we can do that is by salvaging, by sifting, and by harvesting, and what's the other one? Mining. So all those places, that's a good card to get, really. Because it will make sure that we have to try and mine and harvest and do all those sort of things. And it puts good old Johnny out of his comfort zone. He's been having a whale of a time. It's dead easy, this game, as far as Johnny Neptune's concerned. But there's been an economic crash, so brilliant. Okay. Right, good job. I left him with 1,000 credits. Yep, so we've had an economic crash, and then his final fame point for getting a new ship, that makes him a noteworthy rocketeer. So he's cracking on. But this economic crash, that's going to affect him a bit. Plus the fact he is going to head over to Outpost 338 to drop these guys off, which will give him 3,000 credits. So perhaps it isn't so unlucky for him after all, because he wasn't planning to do any trading. He was planning to finish this shuttle mission. But yes, interesting, spiced it up a bit. Okay, that is it for Johnny Neptune's turn. Next up, it's Cobra Hex and the Gaiden. And here we are with Cobra Hex. So we're going to need those 4 armed tokens. And yes, he is hunting down his outlaw for his bounty hunter mission. Yes. And the only outlaw who's currently on the board is the sellsword, who is up at the smuggler's den at the spawn point there. So he's going to head that way. We'll take the TAC X with us over there, so don't forget, so he gets a reroll. So I'll take that with him. One other thing I noticed was I did have his energy at 5 when when it came to look. I thought, oh, that's wrong. And because he's actually on a planet, so it should be at 10. And I think what I've done is I had Johnny Neptune at full energy, and I think I just got them mixed up. Instead of putting this one back to full energy, I think I put him back to full energy in error. He should have been at 5 energy, but I think we're all right because he only used a single energy, didn't he, to scan, and then he got to a planet, so he got full energy anyway. So no harm done, but he should be at 10. Like he is, and Johnny Neptune should have been at 5. Okay, having sorted that out, let's get across to the board and let's see if he can get to the sellsword this turn. And here we are with Cobra Hex and the Gaiden. It's just here, and yeah, he's got to get up here to take on the sellsword. He's had a tip off, and he's heading this way, and he's going to try and get his bounty hunter mission. So first things first, he needs to get there. So he's going to spend one of these and pop it on his engine. He's got a Halon engine, so that is a D8. Roll the red D8 and let's see if he can get up there. Come on. And he rolls a 3, which is pretty pants, but he does have GTS, so that's going to become a 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He is on his way. He's going to spend another of these, and he's going to roll again for an engine. Come on, high score. He gets an 8. Fantastic. That is really good. So he's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's brilliant. He's got there, and he's going to stop there, because he is now going to start combat. How does combat work? Well, first of all, you've got to acquire a target. Now, Cobra has got blasters. He's got Seeker 5 blasters. That means he has to be adjacent. He is now adjacent, so he can attack. Then you've got to check your line of sight. The line of sight is not a problem here. We're both in 2 empty areas of empty space facing each other. We've got nothing in between us. If, for example, this asteroid field was in between us, we wouldn't have line of sight. Similarly, this planetary boundary, if that was in between us, we wouldn't have line of sight. For the nebula, however, if the nebula boundary was between us, that's okay. You still have line of sight. It's just sort of like gas and dust, so you can still see through that. But things like debris fields, asteroid fields, star boundaries, planetary boundaries, they stop line of sight. So we do have line of sight. We have our blasters. What are we going to do? Well, we declare our attack. We've got to say how many outfits we're using to attack with, and then the defender will get a chance to declare what they're going to defend with. Now, our Seeker 5 blasters, they've got 2 icons on them, so we can use them twice. It's up to us. Do we want to just use them one at a time? Or do we use them in a, like, you know, do we use both barrels? And that's what we're going to do. He's going to use both barrels. So both of these armed tokens will go on his Seeker 5 blasters. And they're D8 blasters. So he's going to roll a D8 twice. The sellsword, got his card here. Now he's not currently run by anyone because you have to hire him first. So what we'll do is we'll have him go after Vesvirgo. But really, normally what happens is he's operated by a player character who hires him, but he's currently not been hired. And that's going to cause us a little problem, because he is an outlaw, and we've sort of hunted him as a bounty hunter, but nobody's sort of operating him. And normally, the assumption is a player character is going to be operating him, so he doesn't really need that much AI. But yeah, what we're going to do is he's going to sort of use a bit of the AI of the scoundrel, because they're both outlaws. So what happens is he's going to get attacked now, and then he's going to do what a scoundrel will do, and a scoundrel would attack back. But he won't get to attack back until his turn. Because he's not controlled by a player character, we're just going to say that his turn is after everybody else's and after Vesvirgo's. But As far as this attack goes, he's going to use his defense, which is defending with a D12 shield. So that's what he's going to try and do. And he'll use Vesvirgo's D12, why not? Okay, so the attack itself, we're going to roll a D8 twice. We still have attack X in case we roll something really crap. So let's roll. That's a 4. I think we'll keep that. We won't re-roll that. And his second volley is a 6. So that's a total of 10. Is he able to shield against that 10 damage? We'll roll this. And he rolls a 7. So he blocks 7 of that damage, which is cool. So that is only 3 damage. We'll grab 3 damage out of the supply. So that's what the damage tokens look like. And I'll just put them over here next to his card so we know he's got 3 damage on him. So he's just been there in space waiting for somebody to hire him, and Cobra Hex has turned up, fired both blasters. He's managed to stop most of it, but he's got 3 damage and he's not impressed. What is Cobra Hex going to do now? He's out of armed tokens and he hasn't managed to destroy the ship. Well, he still has his impulse power. So he's going to use that. He's got an impulse of 4. He's going to flip that over and he's going to attempt to do a bit of a runner. He's still got his TAC X and he's got a plan. What he's going to do is he's going to run in here, which is an asteroid field, and it's got an expiration token as well. So he's going to go 1, 2 and hide in here like Han Solo, and he gets that. But because he's entered an asteroid field, he's obviously got to roll. So we've got to roll a D20, and what he's got to do is he's got to roll an 11 or higher to avoid damage. So we're going to try and do that. And he rolls a 12, which is great. He avoids damage, no damage. And he can flick this over now, and it's a plasma cube. So he's picked up a plasma cube. He's also got a second exploration token as well as that plasma cube. So we'll pop this plasma cube that he's found in space, so it doesn't come off the economy board, which is good because we've got no cubes on the economy board. And he does have a spare hold space, he can put it in, so he's popped that in there. And yes, he's hiding out now in that asteroid field. Remember, asteroid fields, you cannot gain line of sight. So, cunning plan by Cobra Hex. That is it for his action phase. He's all out of arm tokens and he's used his impulse, so there's nothing else he can do. He's not on a planet, so we'll skip the business phase and we'll go straight to the status phase. And here we are at the status phase. First thing he's going to do is he's got these 2 exploration tokens. He's just going to hand those in, put those in there and in the Cthulhu bag, and he's not going to take a fame point. He's just going to take 2,000 credits if he can pick them up. So that puts him up to 4,000 credits. He does have the good old plasma cube as well. He's popped that in there. Get his impulse back, and all of these go to disarmed, and he's going to spend 4 of his energy, 1, 2, 3, 4, to arm them again. TAC X, that's fine, he didn't use it, so that stays the right way around, and I think that is it. Yes. So he gave it a good go. He was only able to inflict 3 damage, but now the sellsword is not impressed. So the sellsword is going to come after him. But what the sellsword doesn't realise is that obviously, you know, this isn't just some trader who's going to roll over It's all part of, well, it's not particularly part of his plan. He planned to destroy him, but yes, he's well up for a battle, is Cobra Hex. So they're going to slug it out. So good stuff. Okay, so that is the end of his status phase. Just before we go on to Aqua Scion, he's obviously looking after the Enforcer. So the Enforcer's got 6 move, I think. Yeah, he's going to move 6. There's currently... he can't see any outlaws on the board. They're over a sector away. And there's only 2 lawful planets. So he's basically patrolling between Lunari and Kemplar 2. So he's going to be heading back to Kemplar 2. Let's go across to the board and just move our Enforcer. And here we are with the Enforcer. He's just making his way back from the mission point. So he's got 6 movement. He's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and he's heading back this way to Kemplar 2. He's still well over a sector away from, in fact you can't even see the sellsword, you can only just see the Gaiden here. So he's well over a sector away from the outlaw on the board, so he's going to ignore it. And that is it for the Enforcer. Next up, it is Aqua Scion and the Krembler. And here we are with Aqua Scion. So she's got 3 of these cyber to sell, and if she can sell them, that's excellent, because that means she will pick up this 1,000 credits on the Terra part of the economy board. So these 3 would go onto the economy board, they get transformed into Terra, she gets that 1,000 credits. So an extra 1,000 credits if she can sell these. She only needs to get to Doravin V, which is super. I think another thing we'll do is this shuttle mission. I mean, we do have Pelmont, but we don't have Red Gulch. So I think we'll try and get on a mission point as well. We'll discard this and we'll get 3 more missions from a mission point. And yeah, we've got the merchant to do as well. And I think that's it. We've got 7 energy in the energy scoop. So hopefully, even if we don't make it to Doravin V, we should do. We've got a Halon engine. We don't have GTS, but if we use 3 of our engines, we should make it to Doravin V. The only problem is, I think the Manchester is sat on the cell space, but we'll sort something out. We've got impulse power. All right, let's get to the board and see if she can get this cyber sold. And here we are, the Krembler. It's here. Just, I think it's Neo Damascus space, just making our way towards Doravin V over here. So first of all, we'll use one of these. I brought both of the special ability cards. You never know when we might use them or need them, and if I bring them along I might even remember to use them if required. So we'll use an armed token. That goes on a Halon engine, and we're going to roll a d8. We need a big roll. Come on. And we roll a 7. That's excellent. Remember, she don't have GTS. So a 7 it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That gets her to here. And we're going to use another engine. And we need another big roll. Come on. And we get a 6. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's right next to, so she can use those last 2 movement points to go 1, 2 into there and back. And good, that means we don't have to use our impulse to do that. So she can sell her cyber, which she will do. And that gets her a fame point because she sold more than 2. So 3,000 credits for that. And an extra 1,000 credit because Terra is in demand, so we'll take that off the economy board, and she gets 4,000 credits. Woo! That's what we like. 4,000 credits for Aqua Scion. put those back in the supply, and I will take 3 Terra out of the supply and put them on the economy board. Aquasian, kickstarting the economy. Cool. Alright, so we've done that. And she is going to use her impulse power now. So that's an impulse of 3. And with that, she's going to go onto the mission point. And she could buy Terra, but there's currently nowhere to sell it. Apart from, she could trade it at Kai, but that's an outlaw planet. And yeah, not too keen on making her an outlaw. So what we'll do is 1 there. So we pick up the missions because it's a minor action, and then we'll go 2, 3, and we'll just be ready to leave. We're still on planet, but we're ready to leave. And we're not going to use anything else. We don't need to use the energy scoop because we're finishing our turn on a planet. And nano regeneration, we didn't need to use that either. So these will just go and stay as armed. And take those back, we didn't use them. And yes, she's going to finish her action phase right there. But one last thing to do, because we did go over that mission point, is we're going to discard this. And we're going to pick 3 more missions to choose from in the status phase. So we'll do a cut. And 1, 2, 3. Hopefully there's one she can complete in that little lot. That is it for her action phase. She is on a planet. Let's get to the business phase. And here we are at the business phase. So these are going to come off here, go to disarmed, and she gets all of her energy back. That's cool. And yes, she is going to buy something. She's going to spend 1,000 credits, and she is going to buy a GTS. Yeah. So finally she gets a GTS. We'll place it there, orthogonal, so she can use it. And that's cool. And she's still got 3,000 credits. So excellent. Alright, that is it for her business phase, I believe. Next up is the status phase. And here we are at the status phase. So we'll rearm those. That costs her 2 energy, but she's on planet, so she gets it back. She gets her impulse back. And she also sold 3 cubes of cyber, which is more than 2, which means, yay, she gets a fame point. So she moves up to a rubbish runner. Still well behind Johnny Neptune. Johnny Neptune is just Mr. Fame. But, yep, she's getting there. So she is a rubbish runner. And I think that is it for the status phase. Yes, I don't think there's anything else she has to do. Let me just check. You know when you get those feelings at the back of your mind? No, freeze, reclaimed fame, draw titles events, we don't need to do that. Refresh, demand arm markers. No, we're fine. Okie doke. Oh yes, there is one thing. I knew I was missing something. It was there at the back of my mind. I'm missing 2 things. One, we've got to pick a mission, and then we've got to do the merchant. That's what I was missing. I knew there was something nagging. Oh, look at these. That is rubbish. We got rid of the one that we could have done. And an arms dealer. See, these all give bounties, and she doesn't want to get a bounty. So, unfortunately, Doravin V is a hive of scum and villainy, and the only people who want anything done are, like, scumbags. So, she's not going to do any of those. and she'll just try and pick something else up next planet that she gets to. Okay, so she hasn't got a mission, unfortunately, but yeah, bit of a downer, but never mind. Let's get on with the merchant. Now, the merchant's going to be travelling 9. He's just been to Neo Damascus, so he will be heading towards Lunari. Let's get over to the board. And here we are with the merchant. He's just here, and he's heading towards the cell space on Lunari, which is down here. So he's got 9 movement. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So he hasn't quite made it, but he should make it the end of next turn, and that will give him 3,000 credits in his hold. Very tempting. Okay, that's it for the merchant. Next up is Ves Virgo. And here we are with Ves Virgo. Very easy for her. She's got no money whatsoever. She had to sell a GTS to repair her shit. She's got to get down to Calicus. She's got to get down to that mission point, and she's got to hand over this cyber cube and this hollow cube so she complete a cargo mission for 4,000 credits. Hopefully she'll be able to get there. Currently she's in the Burning Horse Nebula. She's got a bit of a trek to get down to Calicus, but yeah, she has got a Halon engine, but without that GTS she could be struggling. Let's get across to the board, see how she gets on. And here we are with Ves. She's right up here, just right at the top, and she's currently in Burning Horse. So she's going to, let's get her special abilities, which I forgot. We'll pop them there, and we'll put her arm tokens on them, and start spending them. So we're going to spend this first. We're going to put it on a Halon engine, and she's going to try and get to Calicus. So that is a D8. We need some high scores. A 3 is not high. So 1, 2, 3. She doesn't have to roll for coming out of a nebula. She's going to spend yet another engine. Come on, you can do it. Let's roll again. High, high. Another 3. 1, 2, 3. And she's going to have to use a final one on her engine. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. How far away is she? 1, 2, 3. She's going to use her impulse instead. So we're just going to use her impulse of 3. And that's going to get her there. So she's going to go 1, 2, 3. And she lands on the mission point. So she can hand over her hollow and her cyber. And it means that she will complete this cargo mission for 4,000. Now, we don't use the economy board, I don't think. It's just like a private transaction. So we'll just get 4,000 and these cubes will go back into the supply. But she has completed a cargo mission, and that is a fame point. So she too will become a rubbish runner. So we've got to remember. We've got to remember that. Alright, what we're going to do now. Now she's completed that, she's actually got some cash. That was pay as soon as she arrived and dropped off the cargo, so she does have 4,000. I think what we'll try and do, we do have an engine, but we'll try and get her back to a recall token up here, which is just outside of Kemplar 2. So that is an energy cost of 2, so we're going to spend that now. That'll put her down to 4 energy, I think. I'll just check that. I might have just knocked her player card. But cost of 2 energy. I'll be able to check once I get back into editing. I think that is 4 left, but we'll see. And we've got a roll. So we need a good roll because we are... That's the same sector, that's 1 sector. We're 2 sectors away. So we need to roll over a 9. Come on! Over a 9 with a D20. a 1. Jeez. So we failed. And it's a good job that we kept one of these back, because we're going to have to see what's the closest. I think the kiln is the closest. We're going to have to try and reach the kiln with this. So we'll put that on her Halon engine. It's her last engine that she can use. Let's roll a d8 and a 7. That's good. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. She gets right next to the kiln. That's as close as you have to get. And she can actually get on. Oh, that was lucky. So we will pop this in there. But only because she's made it. And she'll land on the mission spot. So she's going to land on the mission spot there. We have to roll a d6, so let's bring this back. Kiln to move. The kiln moves 2. So that's 1, 2. That's here. Right next to the recall token. How ironic is that? And yes, so she has made it back to the kiln and she's on the mission spot. She just completed a mission, so she could do with a new one. We'll do the cut and 1, 2, 3. We will have a look at those in the status phase. Pop those over here. Alright, we used recall, even though we made a balls of it, so we'll have to turn that over. Didn't use the disruptor field, and we've got an armed marker that we didn't use as well, so we'll pop that back. Alright, we'll be back here shortly because we're going to do the sellsword. That's what that's about. That's the sellsword card with the 3 damage on it. But as far as the action phase for Vess Virgo, she's managed to get back to the kiln, thankfully. And yes, that is it for her action phase. She's on the kiln, so she'll get a business phase. And here we are at the business phase. So she gets all her energy back, thankfully. And these 3 go to disarmed. There we are. Super. And is she going to do anything else? Yes, she's going to spend 1,000 and she's going to get a GTS back. She really missed that GTS. So she's going to buy that back. Excellent. Put that in the bank. And I think that is it for her business phase. She's not going to do anything else. We'll have a look at the missions during the status phase. And speaking of the status phase, that's next. And here we are at the status phase, so very quickly we will rearm those. We'll get our impulse back. And 1, 2, 3, 4, but we get it all back because we're on the kiln. And what to do now? Now, let's have a look at these missions. So, flick it over. There's a research mission, a transport mission, and a counterfeit. Let's have a look at this counterfeit because she's a little bit weird, she's a little bit woo. A dubious financial practice. We set up shop here because the anomaly hides our base from scans. You could fly right overhead and never see a thing. The 3-armed woman gestures at the sky. Be sure it stays that way. Fly to a mission point in any anomaly. Well, we've got a couple of anomalies. Target the second player on your left. As an action, when adjacent to target, declare how you will split a 4,000 credit reward. Then target must pick launder or snitch. You roll a d20. So, yeah, you can get 3 bounties off that. And, ooh, so if they decide to launder, we split as declared. Might do that. Let's see if there's anything really easy though. Research, scan for scientific data. An old prospector is seeking a certain mineral combination. I need you to scan them asteroids for me. It isn't much, but it's a job. TK421. That is on the board. Collect data by rolling a D20. Oh, come on. Apologies if this hasn't been in focus while I've been whittering on, but I've been reading it. So 1 to 5, nothing. 6 to 10, 2,000. 11 to 17, 3,000. And 18 to 20, 5,000. And we deliver it to Doravin V. I think we're going to take that one. Pop that over there. Just check transport. Contracted to carry commodities. It took 2 signatures and a retina scan to clear the cargo. However, now it's in your hold, you feel tempted to alter the deal. Oh, she might do this. Fly to a mission point in any gate. Well, we've got 3 of those. Place X hollow in your hold. Place 2 times damage on this card. X1, 2 or 3, your choice. Target the player on your left. As an action, when adjacent, give the target X hollow. Can't be refused. And you jettison any excess. Gain 2,000 for each cargo cube that was not jettisoned. Penalty after you load: if you discard the mission without completing it, take all damage on this card as unblockable and get a bounty. We'll stick with the research, I think. Stick with the research, a little bit easier. And yeah, we're a bit skint, so this is why we're doing a very easy mission. We get recall back that was so rubbish for us just moments ago. And I think that is it for her. We've gone through fame point. She got a fame point for completing that mission, so she is a rubbish runner as well. All right, okay, let's get back to the board. We've got to see what the sellsword is going to do. And here we are with the sellsword. Now, the sellsword, all he's going to do is he's going to follow the Gaiden. So he's followed Cobra Hex to here. He knows he's gone inside, but his targeting computer cannot lock on the Gaiden because he's got no line of sight because of the asteroids. So all he's going to do is he's going to wait. He's going to wait outside here for the Gaiden to break cover, and then he's going to try and attack. But as I said, little does he know that the Gaiden's going to come out all guns blazing. So that is what the sellsword's going to do. He won't go into an asteroid field looking for a ship that's in there. Yeah, he can only really get adjacent, and if the other ship is in an asteroid field, then he's just going to wait for it to come out, and then he's going to try and attack. So say it was Johnny Neptune and the Scoundrel was after him, and Johnny Neptune was in the asteroid field, the Scoundrel would do exactly the same. He'd just hang around outside hoping to catch him as he exited the asteroid field. So that's what the sellsword's going to do. That is it for Vesvirgo. That is it for episode 6. And yes, things are hotting up. We've had a bit of combat. Johnny Neptune's pretty much running away as regards the fame game, but Vesvirgo's managed to pull it back. She's in the kiln. She's managed to get herself some cash, get her GTS back, and she's sorted herself out a nice easy little job, and hopefully she'll be able to kick on from that. Aqua Scion, she's on Doravin V. She's managed to kickstart the economy for everybody, so she's doing very well. She's got herself a GTS as well. She should be able to move around a bit more. As we've just been chatting about the sellsword, Cobra Hex, yeah, he's locked in a battle of wits with an outlaw. Will he prevail? We shall see. Alright, so that's it for episode 6. Thank you all for watching. Thanks for all the subscriptions, for all the views, for all the likes and the dislikes. You're still watching. And thank you for all the help and support. It really is much appreciated. Anybody who's been across to Board Game Links to upvote the site, thank you. Similarly, anybody at BGG who's liked the video threads over there, made a comment, dropped Geek Gold, anything of that nature, thank you so much. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter and Facebook. Thank you. And that is it, I think. Oh, of course. Any errors that you've spotted, please just pop them in the comments below and I will try and fix them for next turn. Probably you'll probably have seen a few messages flash across the screen where I've noticed stuff in editing, but anything I've missed, do let me know and I will try and fix it for the next episode. Okay, so that's it for episode 6. I hope to see you in episode 7, but until then, this is me, Catweazle, saying toodaloo.